morning. It's a pleasure to be back to Beijing after 2 years. It's actually my 7th time in China, and I am always fascinated about your evolution and your extreme ability to change and to welcome us and to produce not only amazing infrastructure but amazing amount of knowledge. So what I would like to share with you today is the result of the work I've been doing for the South-South Cooperation Special Unit Creative Economy Program since 2005 on researching which kind of model we would have to work with creative economy from a sustainable point of view. And the conclusion, I start by the conclusion, was that we actually need a new economy. When we talk about creative economy, we are talking about something bigger. We are talking probably about a new economy. So that you can have a better understanding of this point of view, I'm not in the academy, I am a practitioner. I'm always trying to make synthesis and put things very simple. So, and this is probably because I started as an artist in the cultural sector, mainly as a multimedia director. Then I worked in the corporate sector, designing communication strategies. Then the non-profit sector, NGOs. Finally, local governments in local development through culture. And in the last 6 years in international cooperation. But the link between all this is the future. So everything I'm talking about is regarding the future, how we design the future and what are the trends that we face now. So this is what I'm going to propose was based in the crossing of future studies with the best practices that we find in creative economy, both in local perspective and international cooperation. So our first assumption is that creative economy is not only one strategy for development, but maybe the strategy for the 21st century. And why? First, because sustainability is no longer an option, now it's mandatory. And why is it mandatory? Because in the last period of history, because of science, we thought that we were independent of each other, independent of nature. But we see that the natural tsunamis tell us that we are not independent from nature, and as well the economical tsunamis tell us that we are all linked. So we are all connected, all countries, all societies, and of course us and nature. So we need this new model based on the perception that there is interdependence of everything. And in order to achieve this interdependence, we must operate through systemic, integrated, transdisciplinary approaches. So, but the first thing that is very basic in this model I've been working with is the perception that actually we have two interdependent ecosystems. One ecosystem we are already aware of is environment, but the other ecosystem is society. So these two interdependent ecosystems, the first that we started to be very much aware of in the beginning of the 20th century is environment. It depends on biodiversity and it's material, it's tangible. And as it is tangible, we can measure it, it's quantitative. And we can say that it's the hardware. And the other ecosystem, and I think that the 21st century will see the rise of a new discipline that the same way that we started to study all the disciplines related to nature and their ecology, the same way we will start to study all the disciplines regarding human, culture, politics, economics, law, all together in a kind of social cultural ecology that depends on cultural diversity. It is intangible, non-material, and then we can only measure it to quality, and it is the software. And I think this perception is very important for urban development, because usually in urban development we think of the hardware, the structure, but we don't think that much on the software. And I think you do a very good job in this. I saw, the first time I was in Shanghai was in 2005. So I could follow up, and I've been there 5 times. So I could follow up a little bit the process of the preparation for the World Expo. And I could see some work on the software also, not only in the hardware. And why is it so important to consider these 2 ecosystems? Because in order to locate ourselves, we need 2 coordinates. We cannot locate ourselves with only 1 coordinate. So 1 coordinate is tangible, it's material. But the other coordinate is the intangible. To give you an example, Brazil is preparing now for the World Cup and the Olympics. I'm very worried if we are going to succeed or not, because all the plans I see are only regarding the hardware, new buildings, roads, transport. But I don't see any effort put in the software, in people. And people is the key. So I think this is the next step of urban development, is stressing on the development of people and society, and how is it to live in this place. So I'm very pleased to speak just after the theme of leisure time. So if creative economy is the development strategy, it is because actually, as we are entering a new era, we need a new economy. It's not some adjustments in this model of economy we have now. It's probably a totally different economy, a new economy. And some hints about this new era. When we see what is more valuable now, we can see that it is what is linked to the intangible. So Google is the brand that is worth more, it's intangible. 75% of the value of a product is in its intangibles. So probably what we see, well, this is clear when we see how value increases to the quality of experience. So the raw material is worth very little, and a cafe in a cafeteria is $1, but in Piazza San Marcos, Venice, it may cost $15 because it is a unique experience. So this new era, it's very difficult to be aware of the fact that we are living in a very important period because we are inside. But probably in the future you'll see this moment as a very important moment of change. And this change is from centuries where we were dealing with the tangible, and economy and society was built around this, such as land, gold, or oil. And in being tangible is finite. And if it is finite, the economy is an economy of scarcity, and the model is competition. But culture, creativity, and knowledge are infinite. So we are no longer talking about scarcity, but we can talk about abundance. And the model can be a model of cooperation. So if we link these only resources that are renewable and multiply with usage, with the new technologies, because the atoms of the planet are finite, but the bits are not, then we have another possibility of infinite, because it's all the possibilities of solidarity, cooperation, and work networks. To give you an example, In Brazil, we invest and support a lot the hard technologies, but the cost of one job in hard technology is very expensive. $2020 for one job in oil sector, while in soft technologies such as handcraft, $75 for a job. So, if sustainability is mandatory, we need a new economy. And this new economy is only possible if we put, again, the two coordinates. One coordinate regarding the hardware, the planet, is the green economy. The other coordinate is the creative economy, this new economy based in intangible resources. And after years working with creative economy, I now have a very simple definition for it. It is an economy based in intangible assets. And so only when we have these two together we can attain real sustainability, because sustainability is not only about environment. We work with these two interdependent ecosystems, dealing with the four dimensions of sustainability: the cultural, economical, social, and environmental. And from environment, we can generate economy, the tangible X, and then from culture comes society, the intangible X, and then we have those four dimensions. And we work, so we are always seeking to find a balance between those four dimensions. And all the projects we find that are the best practices encompass those four dimensions. If too much emphasis is put on economics, with no regarding to cultural, environmental, or social, no good. If all the emphasis is in environment, no regarding for economics, no good either. So we need to find balance. So the only possibility is if we have a new economy. In the past, the 20th century was based in mass production. So we have big companies selling a lot to many people, few companies selling to many. But now the new model, because of the new technologies, is more diversified. It's the niche economy and no more the mass economy, which is many, very, 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 very diversified, selling to many. And the key of this new economy is cultural diversity.